Hey everybody, come on in, come on in, come on in. I need to have a conversation with you all. Listen, I was going to use my mic, my cute little mic, but I did not charge it. So, because I did not charge it, it's not going to work. So, we're not going to go with that, okay? So, if you are a woman, if you are a black woman, if you are a black woman working in the call center space, I need you to the front. We need to have a conversation. It is imperable, not imperable. Forget I said that. But we need to have a conversation. Okay. So, working in the call center, I know it is stressful, it is tiring. You do not feel appreciated at all on any level. Okay. I know that because I work in call center as well. Okay. But do you also know that working in a call center gives you the perfect training environment to be a successful entrepreneur? Right, exactly. So, we're going to have this conversation, okay? So, I'm going to be talking to you about some things when it comes to entrepreneurship to my ladies who are interested in becoming an entrepreneur. This is going to be for you, all right? So, I am here to have the talk. I do have an outline here for me to talk over, and I have that outline because if I don't have an outline, I'm going to be talking about whatever, whenever, whoever, and that's not what the goal is for today. So, we're going to hop right in and we're going to be talking about how and why working in a call center is a great first step to entrepreneurship. Okay? So, we're going to start with going into the skill sets that you need to be an actual or to be a worker in a call center because it is very stressful. It is very strenuous. It's a lot going on in the call center. I'm sure we can all agree to that statement. Okay. You have to be a multitasker, right? You have to be a listener. You have to be patient. You have to notate the conversations while you're on the call. Yeah. You have to watch. This is about to be killing me. So not only do you have to listen and you have to be patient and you have to notate the account when you are talking to the customer on the phone, right? They also want you to have no dead silence. Okay? You can't have no dead awkward silence on the phone because if you know when you are getting your calls recorded and when they go over your calls you get dinged for there being some silence in the moment, right? So that's not what you want either. You don't want any silence on the phone when you are talking to your customers, right? In addition to all that I just said, right? The other thing you have to do when you are on the phones is you have to watch your messages because I can almost guarantee you 9 times out of 10, your supervisor is on the line listening to your call and they are deciding that they also want to message you while you're on that call to give you suggestions on what to say. They expect you to read what they wrote you. They expect you to respond to what they wrote you. In addition to listening to the customer, being patient with the customer, having no dead silence, and also notating the account. It's absolutely crazy. But these are some of the skill sets that you need when it comes to working in a call center. I feel like we can all agree to that, okay? The second thing I wanted to go over with you guys is also going to be what skill sets you need to actually be an entrepreneur. So, you have to have thick skin. You have to have attention to detail. You have to be able to communicate properly. You have to be able to solve problems. You have to prioritize correctly your to-do list, and you have to focus on your improvements more than your success. Entrepreneurship is not for the weak. If you don't have the consistency, if you are kind of out here just winging it, it can make it even more difficult for you than when it comes to actually having the consistency and the resilience when it comes to entrepreneurship, right? So that thick skin, listen, if a few things here and there is going to get you all riled up, this might not be the space for you. I think we can all agree to that. But I want y'all to be able to see the difference, not even the difference. I want y'all to be able to see the connection between working in a call center and being an entrepreneur, because it's not much of a difference. Like I said before, being in a call center is going to give you that, like, the perfect training to being a successful entrepreneur. Okay, so now we're going to quickly go over what call center skills transfer over to entrepreneurship. Okay, now I will say this: the list that you've already heard with the entrepreneurship and what you've heard about the skill sets needed to be in the actual call center, I'm pretty sure y'all have already been able to connect the dots, because having a thick skin and being able to communicate and attention to detail and focusing on what you can improve on versus what you've been successful with. If you heard that list of entrepreneurship, that's the same things you need on that phone when you are taking those phone calls. And you have to be patient and you have to keep a level head, because when you are answering them calls and you have to listen and be patient and notate and reply to, when you're doing all of that, it's very quick. You can get stressed out very quickly. Not in addition to all that, they want you taking calls the entire time you're there. If you are on a call and you finally hang up on that call, they're watching, right? And let's say there's a 2 minutes in between each call. They're gonna message you. Yeah, and they're gonna say, "Hey, is everything okay? You're not on the phones. Are you not on the phones? What's going on? We need you back on the phones." You have to ask to go to the restroom. You have to ask to step away from your station when you are on these phones, because they are watching you like a hawk when you're on them phones. They want you on the phones at all times. Okay, so let's now go over what's transferring from the call center over to entrepreneurship, so you can see how you're basically already doing all the things. You just need to focus in now on what you want to do, right? So one thing, I'm going to give you what you do in a call center, and I'm going to give you what that equates to on the entrepreneur side. Okay, so for one, we're going to go with interviewing, right? When you interviewed for that job, you had to present yourself in a way. I think that's fair. And I'm going to say 9 times out of 10, the majority of y'all, you actually practiced what you were going to say and how you were going to say it when you went in for that interview, correct? So if you take interviewing for the call center, it basically equals pitching your service as an entrepreneur, right? You learned how to sell yourself and your value under pressure. That's what it is. And that's whether you're interviewing with one person for the job. In some cases, when it comes to these call center jobs, they will have you interviewing with a group or like a panel. And they're just asking you questions back and forth, and you have to remain calm. You have to smile. You have to answer the question, not take too much time, seem pleasant or be pleasant. And you have to put on this, you're basically selling yourself, which is what you're doing in entrepreneurship as well. You are selling yourself and your value under pressure. It's the same exact feeling. It's the same exact flow. Number 2, when you are in the call center, you are multitasking during calls, right? That's equal to running multiple business functions simultaneously in entrepreneurship, right? So if you're focused on, you have to do like customer service, right? That's you talking to the customers on the phone. Admin, that's the notating the accounts. Make sure everything is in place before you hang up that phone, and get everything you're supposed to get from that customer, not only from them and what you're supposed to say. You're supposed to get all that done. So that's admin. And then you have problem solving, right? And as you know, problem solving in customer service is almost the majority of it, because some people call and they be on one. They are rude, they are loud, they are yelling. And even in all that, you still have to figure out and listen to what they are saying to get to the place of what they're actually calling for and how you can actually help them. What they want you to do, they want you to help the customer, to give the customer what they're looking for. But in order for you to do that, through all the yelling and all the cutting you off, you still have to listen and be patient, right? That is a small business reality. So they are also doing customer service, they're doing admin, and they're also problem solving. They're doing the same exact thing, right? Number three, active listening to customers, right? You are actively listening to customers in your call center job, right? On the entrepreneurship side, that will be identifying client needs and pain points, right? In order for you to know what the problem is, sometimes with these customers, you have to read in between the lines, or you have to continue to ask the questions. And that is the same exact flow when it comes to entrepreneurship. When you are talking to customers or potential customers, you are asking them questions to figure out what exactly it is that they need. It's the same exact thing you're doing on the phone with customers when you're dealing or when you're working in a call center. I think we can all agree. We can all agree to that, right? Okay, so now that we have gone over these skill sets that are in your call center, we take those skill sets and we talked about which ones are transferable over to entrepreneurship. I gave you 3 examples of the skill set needed in the call center and how it equates to the same exact skill set on the entrepreneurship side, so you can kind of get more of a visual or understanding as far as how close you are to already being an entrepreneur, right? You already have the experience, right? Some entrepreneurs go out here, they start a business, they get things going, but they don't have this background of already doing that type of work. You've already done it. You have the experience. You've been on the battlefield already, so you already know what it's like. We already know what it's like to deal with the same things that they are dealing with in entrepreneurship. So now I'm going to quickly go over, so I'm going to sure that we're all on the same page as far as what is a service-based business. Okay, I don't want to assume you know what that is, so I'm going to go over what that is. So a service-based business is an intangible skill. All right, so it is some type of skills or labor or expertise that you are giving to customers rather than a physical product. So service-based goods is you providing something to a customer that is not physical. It's not a actual product. It's in like labor, expertise, skills. So think plumber, life coach, consultant, hairstylist, baker, writer, editor, event planner. You can even go into daycare. You can cleaner, tutoring, even more ones that are not mentioned as much. Online notary, dispatching for my ladies who have husbands or significant others who are in the trucking space. You can be a dispatcher. That is a service-based business. And I'm assuming you know what a dispatcher is, because that plays a very, very important role in a trucker's schedule. Also, dog walking. Those are just to name a few of different services or different ideas when it comes to service-based businesses. Okay, so since we've talked about what your current skill sets are, what skill sets are needed in entrepreneurship, and how what you are currently doing is doing the exact thing that entrepreneurships either are doing or that they have to learn to do. So what you are doing every single day is what they have to learn to do. Right? So you are already 10, 20 steps ahead of where they are. So now that we have put those pieces together and given you the examples of the different types of skill sets that are transferable, I only gave you 3. I have a solid 10. I only gave you 3. Now we're going to go over what is your service base, right? So what do you want to start? What do you want to begin doing, right? I've had clients who, I gave you a few of the examples already. She ended up doing baking. I have another client who was a writer and an editor. I have another client who was a life coach, right? But now I want to talk to you about some other clients that I have, because what they do is not something people think of. I have one client who does pre-employment screening, and I do believe it is where employers send their potential new hires to get that screening done before they are officially hired. So I'm assuming, I ain't getting no, but I'm assuming it is like the background check, or it is the actual like drug test where they swab the mouth and send the sample over for the lab to test and send the results back to the employer. I have a client who does that. Now I have another client. Her name is Kai, and I wonder if she's watching this right now. But I have another client. Her name is Kai, and she loves doing hair. Okay, but she never went back. She never went to beauty school to get her license in cosmetology. Right? She didn't want to. She didn't want to pay the money to go back to or go to hair school. Right? But she's still in the hair space. So she doesn't have a license, so she can't do certain styles and certain things with clients. But what she does do is she does, you know how women who do, and it might be some of you do your braids yourself, right? So there's some women out there who do their own braids. They do their own braids, whatever, right? But if you understand what I'm talking about, you know that when you do your own braids, when it comes to parting, it's really hard to do because you can't see. Now, of course, you can do a little concoction. You can have a mirror here, a mirror back here, and you can do it that way. But there's no confidence, really, that you are actually parting it correctly, right? So she has a service where she offers parting. She sections your hair off for you to do your braids. That does not require for you to have a license for that. You're just parting their hair for them to then take, after she parts their hair, they go back home and they do their braids. Cornrows. You don't have to have a cosmetology license to do cornrows, right? Now, I'm not saying to not get your license if that's what you want to do. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is there are still things that you can do that does not require you to go fully into wanting to be in cosmetology school. Sectioning your hair off for you to go back home and do your own braids, that's what she does. And she makes a lot of money just parting people's hair in sections for them to go back home and do their own hair. That's her first service. The second service she offers is takedown. So after your braids been in for a while, it's time for them to come out, whether for you to give your hair a break or for you to take off a couple of weeks to then put the braids back in your hair. She offers the service to take your hair down. And she does well with that service as well. So that was one, right? So then I have another client. Her name is Mahogany. And she's a event planner, right? But she does it for, would it be called erotic? Is it erotic? Okay, so Magic Mike, right? Ladies, stay with me. Magic Mike, right? That's the name of the movie, I believe. She does those events. She books the dudes and the studs to do the things with the people. The women love it. They love it, okay? She does that, right? So I just want to give you a few other examples of service-based businesses that you can do that's not the typical standard same things over and over again. You can get very creative. You can get very unique. If you want to be in a particular niche, or you want to be in a, let's say, like with Kai, she likes doing hair, but she narrowed it down. She narrowed it down to where she only does takeout braids and she sections the hair. That's unique, right? I think that's fair to say. So Let's get to what you want your service-based business to be for you, because you have the skills already that is needed to be a successful entrepreneur. You already have it. It's just a matter of you honing in on that and then deciding what you want to do. So I hope everything sunk in. I hope you understand what I was saying. I hope you was picking up what I was putting down. This is the beginning of you being able to do something for yourself, to give you something else to look forward to other than you going into that call center. So don't look at it as a dead end. That call center job is giving you the exact things you need to do your own thing, to have your own business. So look at it like that. You are being trained with pay on how to do it. So let's take that skill sets and let's apply it to your own service-based business. So if you would like to continue this conversation with me, if you would like to book a call with me so we can see what we can do and get you set up and get you situated when it comes to making those first steps to figuring out exactly what that service-based business is going to be for you, I am going to encourage you to go to the link in my bio. The first button on that link is to book your call with me. Book a call with me. I help Black women who work in call centers. I help them figure out, I help them decide on, and set up their service-based business. So that looks like we are going to name it, we are going to price it, we are going to set up your LLC, your EIN, and your bank account. And once we finish with all that, you are still then going to walk away with a full plan to execute anything that you need to do after that point. Because service-based businesses are the easiest to get into. They don't cost as much as it is for other type of businesses. So book a call with me so we can kind of get you going and get you started on your journey. If you click the link in my bio, the first button is going to be to book that call with me. Okay? You're going to book the call. You're going to get a form that I need you to fill out so we can make sure we are helping you to the absolute best of our abilities and also in extreme detail. After you fill out that form, you're then going to get the actual calendar to book your call. I would love to help you get everything set up and rolling. You're going to be clear on what it is. Like I said, we are going to name it. We are going to price it. And we are going to set up everything else when it comes to the legalities of the business, right? So we're going to do the LLC. We are going to do your EIN, and we're going to set up also your bank accounts as well. That is the first part. Then we are also going to make sure that you have a full plan and how to execute with everything else after that point. So thank you for listening. If you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out. And I look forward to working with each and every one of you.